ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskar to you all, everyone who are listening to this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are in 6th chapter, the Shashtodhyayah, Dhyana Yoga. In the last class, we were discussing the 3rd verse of this chapter, in which Bhagwan is saying to Arjuna, the verse, we have discussed this verse, which says, Arurukshoho Muner Yogam, Arurukshu. And this is the 4th case, Arurukshoho, Arurukshor Muner Yogam, Munehe Yogam Karma Karanam Uchyate. For Yogam. Now, here one thing is wonderful to observe in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Now, we have these 18 chapters of Gita are named in different ways. So, 2nd chapter was named as, titled as Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. 3rd chapter was named as Karma Yoga, etc. Then 4th chapter, Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga, and this is 6th chapter, that is Dhyana Yoga. Then 12th chapter it comes as Bhakti Yoga, and then likewise 18th chapter is the Moksha Sannyas Yoga, etc. Moksha Yoga. Now, we should not do the mistake what Arjuna did. See, he asked this question that you are teaching me about karma and karma sannyasa also. So tell me one with your conviction that what is the right path. Isn't it? At the beginning of the 5th chapter, this was the question raised by Arjuna. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna. Karmanam sannyasa, that the renunciation of action. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna. Punaha means again. Yogam cha shansasi. Shansasi iti prashansasi. You are praising, eulogizing yoga also. Now yoga is karmanam yoga. Karma yoga, karma sannyasa. Yat shreyah. etayoho. Among these two, etayoho, which is Shreya, ekam, one, tanme, that, bruhi, tell, me means me, sunischitam, with the conviction. As if Krishna is confounded, as if Krishna is in doubt, or Krishna is means in a two-way he is speaking. This happens in, when, especially when we talk with children, and they are at the back foot when doing after doing some mistake. They are trying to find some kind of face saver. Sometimes children are very smart, smarter than us. So they put such a way, such an argument. Sometimes we ourselves get confused. So Arjuna is trying to be smarter here. But of course, Krishna is very large-hearted person. He is very kind. He didn't point out immediately. He didn't strike Arjuna's attempt or any endeavor. He took that his words, and as if you see the reply to that, he says sannyasah karma yogascha, as if he is speaking two things, karma sannyasa karma yoga. He says sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa karau ubhau. They are both nishreyasa kara ubhau, both. And he goes on, this fifth chapter goes on. We have seen this chapter, and as we've seen in the beginning of this chapter, he had said especially in the second verse in the sixth chapter, that what is called as sannyasa, that itself is yoga. A true sannyasa and true karma yoga, true karma sannyasa, true karma yoga, they are not different. I am not telling you two things. In the second chapter also, he said first he talked about Sankhya Yoga, then he said, I will tell you Buddhi Yoga. What has been told in the terms of knowledge, I will tell you in the form of yoga. Krishna is not deviating, he is not teaching so many disciplines, so many things. Like as we are tend to think that here this is Jnana Yoga, that Jnana Yogi should do that, or Karma Yogi should do like that. I am Bhakti Yogi, or he is Raj Yogi, he is Jnana Yogi, he is Bhakti Yogi, etc. Krishna's position is not like that. Here Dhyana Yoga means now he will teach something kind of this thing. There is one person here, especially Arjuna. And in the beginning itself, he has said that you have to fight war. That is the right thing to do. You should not step back from here, retrieve your position. You should not try to run away from here. That's what he had said. And if Arjuna would have considered to Krishna's words, his demands, or his advice he has taken, he would not have to say Gita. Go on explaining so many things. But as he is raising questions, so Krishna is answering. So the idea of yoga is one thing, that what we can say dharma. That is kartavya. That is what you are supposed to do, which will further the scope of your spiritual development. That is yoga. And Swami Vivekananda ji, he exactly answered in the similar terms. That somebody asked him that what is duty. So he said that what takes you nearer to that freedom, that is duty. Duty has the sense of binding. He says that it which takes you towards the freedom, towards the moksha. That is karma, that is kartavya, that is dharma. But speaking of an individual, as karma is an aspect, so his mind is an also aspect. His emotion is also is an aspect. So mind, controlling of the mind, his meditation, his devotion, everything is going to help him or her, that person, in his way, in his path to follow his dharma, to discharge his responsibility, his duty, to perform his kartavya, to follow. This is yoga. So, because here this chapter is dhyana yoga, so because this set of verses, they contain specifically many instructions, many verses. They come in here in these 6 chapters, which deals with the aspect of mind, which are generally the subject matter of Raj Yoga. But here, yoga or yogi, they are not changing. They are the same person. Here, especially when we see, because I am saying this because in last class I remember, while defining this word yoga, I had said yoga here we have to understand it as not as karma yoga but dhyana yoga. So it is not the case. It is not the case in the sense they are not distinct things. That earlier part, some part is yoga, karma yoga, and this is the next chapter, this is dhyana yoga. They are all aspects of an individual, and they are all needed for an individual to succeed, to grow, to progress on the path. Mind control is necessary to have dexterity, kushalata, yoga karmasu kaushalam. So while doing work, to be efficient, you should have efficient mind. So mind is the instrument. So here those aspects dealing with the mind are discussed here. So yoga is one, yogi is one. In Krishna's language, in Krishna's narration, he is not changing position, he is not changing goalpost. Chapter titles are given as such, they show us relatively the importance of it, but the thread, the coherence, the position of Krishna remains the same. Here we see, when I was thinking about this verse, so it struck to me that here in this verse there are two people, two kinds of people. They are named here. Arurukshuhu, that one who want to become adept, become expert, become established on the path of yoga. That is Arurukshuhu, a student. And Yoga Rudha, the master, one who is expert, who is adept, who is perfectly established on the path of yoga. His mind is disciplined, his indriyas are disciplined, etc. Rather, in the next verse itself, who is to be called Yoga Rudha? That is defined. That who is to be called yoga rudha? For whom shamaha, which is aspect of the subduing of the mind, not to engage in the action. That is what the instrument is for yoga, instrument for yoga, the path to yoga. That is the tool. That is what yoga rudha will follow. And for arurukshu, karma. Karma is the means. So Arjuna here is the arurukshu. That's why he has to fight the war. And whereas Krishna is yoga rudha, he has taken the vow that he will not pick up a weapon. He will only be charioteer, Sarathi of Arjuna. How wonderful that he is practicing Shama in actuality in the war, that he will not fight the war. And he is saying to Arjuna that you have to fight the war. Karma karanam uchyate. And Krishna himself is practicing Shama, his yoga rudha. So we move on to this next verse, because as I said, this third verse is very important, and rather this why one verse or other, Gita itself, the thought of it, the flow of the thought which goes through Gita in the form of Gita, we have to give serious thought, contemplation, deliberation to it. That is the way forward, that's the way how we can imbibe more of the spirit of the Gita. So we move on to this fourth verse. Now this verse reads like this. Yada hi nendriyartheshu na karmasvanushajjate न कर्मसु अनुषज्जते न कर्मस्व नुषज्जते सर्व संकल्प संन्यासी योगारूढ़ तदोच्यते. यदा ही नेन्द्रियार्थेषु न इंद्रियार्थेषु. नेन्द्रियार्थेषु is after sandhi vicheda, न indriya artheshu, न indriyartheshu, and then न कर्म स्वनुषज्जते न कर्मसु अनुषज्जते. Anushajjate meaning you get stuck, you get excessively obsessed about something. Anushajjate. So here word is used yada. So meaning that when or whenever this happens, as if it is referring to time. So this is as if referring to a state of the mind of a person. Yada he is indeed. He means indeed. Yada he na indriyartheshu na karmasu, in karma or in sense objects. Indriya artha, objects of the senses, sense objects. Karmasu na anushajjate. Indriyartheshu na karmasu anushajjate. What mana of that person is not said here, that is to be understood. And then such a person, sarva sankalpa sannyasi. This is the epithet, this is the word to describe the state of such a person. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi, who has given up all resolve, whatsoever, so minute, howsoever subtle, howsoever happening in your subconscious. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi, who has given up making resolve. That person tadaha yoga rudha uchyate. Then that person can be called. Here, yoga sarva sankalpa sannyasi definitely points out to a person, and yada and tada, that as it shows as if they are talking about the state. When that meaning that coupling these two things together, when a person attains such a state, that person can be called as yoga rudha. Yoga rudha tada uchyate. So this is the meaning of this fourth verse. So the qualities are that person, that his indriyas, means especially his mind, through his indriyas, does not get attached, obsessed, or sticking to some kind of indriya vishaya. Indriya artha means indriya vishaya, that what he might like to see or hear or taste or feel, anything, that he is not attached to it. When is that attachment tasted? That when that person is so much rejoice in the consumption of that indriya vishaya, and suddenly something, some person, some reason, some instance, some time, or any cause put an obstacle to it. And then, if there is a irritation, vexation, krodha, that anger, kamat krodho abhijayate, then if it is found, then there is attachment. We see it every time in our life. So this is, spirituality is very subjective. These ideas are not to apply to other people, whether he is yoga rudha or not. It is to be applied on our life. Our own states of the mind, inner states of the mind, it's working, that has to be tested on this criteria, to see our mind more clearly, to understand ourselves clearly, to find out the faults with ourselves, not with others. So then we see that, so to say, somebody might say, he is habituated to something, some drinking or smoking or eating or whatever one kind of things. He is used to it. And very nicely, many times people brag, no, I do not have any attachment, I am not dependent upon it. It is just casual, because it is there, that's why. You remove it from that person, then let us see how he or she behave. Or see with ourselves, when such thing happen, when we get vexed, irritated, we frown, and there are lines on our forehead. Indriyartheshu, karmasu, that this is very interesting thing. So regarding indriyartheshu, see, as I said earlier also, and as we progress on this sixth chapter, I had referred to some Swamiji who had said that Gita's philosophy is contained in its first, these 6 chapters. So Gita goes on 12 chapters more. So we will see those ideas are again and again brought out. So we will be very easily, we will be able to find. It is not that very wonderful verses, great nuggets, they will come. It is not that it lacks something. But whatever Krishna had supposed to, so to say, that may be particular opinion or personal opinion of some Swamiji, some great uh, soul. However, my point is, we will find as we progresses on many other verses or what we have read hitherto to compare, to refer it again and again. So here, this idea, what is expressed in this verse, it reminds us this the sixth verse of the third chapter, where Bhagwan had said regarding this behavior of the mind. So that verse, very wonderful, that it reads as Karmendriyani Sanyamya Ya Aste Manasa Smaran Indriyarthan Vimudhatma Mithyachara Sauchyate. So the person who is outwardly controlling his behavior, physical behavior, and internally, mentally he is contemplating about those things, he is Vimudha, he is confounded person. And this is called as hypocrisy, mithyacharaha. This is called as mithya acharaha, mithya vyavaharaha, mithyacharaha sauchyate. So this person, the yoga ruda person, he is not that. He has absolutely controlled his behavior of the mind, that he does not get attached to any indriyartha or indriya vishaya. And here, the second half of this verse, it is said here, na karmasu anushajyate, that he does not get attached to karma, or rather in karma. Karmasu, that is the Saptami Vibhakti. So it is locative. So where means as if where mind, we will say where mind is attached, the in particular work, in particular job, in means something you used to do. This is very wonderful to observe our own life, especially that how we get attached to karma, so to say, which we hitherto have been all the time bragging, that is how that work is unselfish work. How I am doing that work for the good of others. And something when you are removed, or miss you are not able to do, or miss you have to let go of it, and it creates a feeling of at least discomfort, inconvenience, and sometime then anger, blame, everything creeps in. Karmasu anushajyate, that mind got attached into particular kind of work. This reminds us again that this verse, many times I have referred to, I like this verse very much. This is the 10th verse of the 18th chapter. It reads as na dveshti kushalam karma kushale na anushajyate tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna sanshaya. So what is the idea? Again, that idea that na dveshti akushalam karma, that you do not hate or abhor such actions which you are not good at. And also, you do not get obsessed with something where you are good. Kushalam. Kushale no anushajyate. That's why some student, he is not doing his homework, but he is very fond of playing video game. Kushale anushajyate. Dveshti akushalam karma. His homework is akushalam karma. His dveshti, he hates it. Kushale anushajyate, he is good at playing that game. He is obsessed with it. He is spending hours together on that. So when these qualities are absent, no dveshti, it starts with na dveshti akushalam karma kushale na anushajyate. So when these both qualities are there, then that person is indeed Medhavi, Sattva Samavishta. He is really Tyagi. Tyagi, Sattva Samavishta, Medhavi, Chinna Sanshaya. He is really is free of all doubts. Chinna Sanshaya. So this is the 10th verse of this 18th chapter. So here back to our verse at hand, this 4th verse. So when the mind of such a person does not get attached to Indriya Vishaya or does not get attached in any kind of action, and this person is Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi. That this idea has been repeated again and again. Here in the 2nd verse also, Nahi Sanyasta Asanyasta Sankalpa Yogi Bhavati Kaschana. Without being Sanyasta Sankalpa means the total renunciator of the Sankalpas, of all resolves. A desire, now this with reference to this, if we see this 19th verse of the 4th chapter, here this idea was explained. So yasya sarve samarambha, all initiative samarambha, all his observances, means all his endeavors, all his actions, sarve, all, yasya, who, of whose all actions are kama sankalpa varjita, they are devoid of kama sankalpa. Now you take this one or take this as two, kama and sankalpa or kama sankalpa. So kama is desire, and desire when you wish to have something, to be done, to have something or to be something. To have something means possessing something, some which is possessable, which is there is some distinct object from you, and you want to have with you something other than yourself. And being something means you are something and you want to be something. It can be means a mental state or physical state. You want to be popular, you want to be respected, you want to be pandit, you want to be so and so, reach such kind of position. So be something or have something. So desires and sankalpa, kama and sankalpa. So sankalpa is such thing. There are first likes and dislikes. In the 2nd chapter, this train of thoughts was explained. Dhyayato vishayan punsah sangasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate. So here the thoughts are moving very fast. That when something you give your mind to, dhyayato, of any sense object, any something which arrests your mind, you are contemplating, you are deliberating on it. A relation, a soft association develops. Familiarity, acquaintance of that subject develops. It becomes stronger and you want to have it or be it. When you are contemplating more and more and more and more, your mind naturally is finding pleasure with that association of that object or state. As soon as that association develops and it tried to start to give pleasure, wherever your mind concentrates, wherever whatever object of the mind can arrest that mental flow and creates a concentration, that thing immediately becomes pleasurable. Whatever, even a wrong thing, even a bad thing, even so to say, in generally what we call as unpleasurable, something what we call as painful, some memories, but you are not able to leave it. Some memories of your insult, that is painful, that was humiliating. You should run away from it, but your mind is sticking to it. Because it has that now this is the kama desire, and the sankalpa part is whenever there is a, this is in the kama, there is a function of chitta, that sanskara is created, sanskara is repeated, mind shows the acquaintance, familiarity with the root or with the association of the things. So for mind it is agreeable. So mind knows it, so it's better to go with it. Agreeable, it is agreeable. So this part is chitta. Chitta facilitates it. Chitta facilitates it. So mind waves flows as soon as chitta gives immediate recognition to it. As soon as it is agreeable, more agreeable, so likes or dislike, those develops. So chitta have this kind of, means with the association, what kind of impression you have, chitta have that stored in it. Chitta immediately tells it that this is agreeable or this is discardable, this is priya or heya. So having means as soon as a memory comes or your mind encounters with that object virtually in your own mental world, or actually your chitta provides that what kind of impression, what kind of experience you are going to have. If it is pleasurable, your mind is going to rush after it. Chitta. But here in sankalpa, so kama, that you are tending to running towards something in an attempt to grab it, to have more of it, kama. Sankalpa is, however subtle this is, however impossible this is, it may be, whether it is rational or not, when there is a factor of resolve, when there is will is backing that kama, then it becomes sankalpa, that I will do this, I want to have this. When mind forms this kind of wave, however subtle, I said, even however it is unknown to you, you may not say this. Many times things which are beyond your reach to have or to be, but the impression it is created on the chitta, and it wish, it want to imagine, it want to dream, to have or to be that. Your mind forms this wave which is called as resolve. I want to have that, I want to be that, and this is called as sankalpa. Kama sankalpa. Sankalpa is born out of desire. So it may be one thing you can say, or you can say as the two things. Sankalpa is desire, or sankalpa is a willed desire, means powered by willpower. And Shastra says that as soon as you make such sankalpas, desire gets strengthened. Sankalpa is the root, as if the root of desire, to make such a form of wave, such to make let such manovritti form, which is called as sankalpa. So this idea of sankalpa sannyasa, remember that in Kathamrit, in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we see that whenever Sri Ramakrishna is about to go into samadhi, so his mind was so pure and so accustomed to rush towards the samadhi. So he had always had to make some way that his mind had to descend. So he used to, sometime after coming down after samadhi, that he is talking that I will eat jalebi, or I will drink water, or I will smoke that hubble bubble, something like that, which is mostly harmless, or which is not much. That drinking a glass of water is not a big kind of desire, but still it is sankalpa. He is obstructing his mind. So see, the working of the mind so powerful. Sri Ramakrishna is using it to his advantage. That his mind should not submerge absolutely into that state. So putting it a sankalpa there, that because that he has made such desire, his mind will have to come down. Because he is satyanishta, he is satya sankalpa, because he said that he has deliberately formed that desire, that form that made that sankalpa, made that resolve. His mind cannot submerge it, he has to come down, and that desire must be fulfilled. That of eating jalebi, or smoking that hubble bubble, or drinking a glass of water. And Shastras here says that sankalpa, with sankalpa only, this desire or this mind rushes. This whole creation is created out of it. And with all that dissolution of sankalpa, all of renunciation of sankalpa sannyasa, only it can goes to laya. It can dissolve. So this idea of sankalpa sannyasa comes again and again. Here, kama sankalpa varjita, and immediately jnanagni dagdha karmanam. So for such a person, he is established in that knowledge, and that fire of knowledge, it will destroy all his karma. And to him, the wise called the true Pandita. So Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasa, the person who has achieved that, he is called as Yoga Rudha. So he is not making any resolve. Yasya sarve samarambaha kama sankalpa varjita. All his initiations means endeavors, whatever, samarambha, whatever his beginning to, whatever his beginnings of, means any endeavor, any effort, they are not prompted out of kama sankalpa. They are not prompted out of desire. Which is, now this is what desire is. I was share with you the ideas I was contemplating. Sri Ramakrishna said, you see, in a Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we find that. Now, I have discussed it earlier, this connotation of this word kama in two sense. Here, Gita does not always, kama is the very fundamental principle. The principle of is this what we call as desire, which can be translated as desire. for the sake of convenience. It is the very fundamental one. It is the very basic one. Whereas kama or the lust, that is a very particular one. So that is a limited connotation in the limited aspect, limited context. But both are discussed in the Indian spiritual tradition, and in a proper context, they have their own meaning, virtue, value. So somebody, some spiritual aspirant, he's asking to Sri Ramakrishna that he is not able to control kama. So Sri Ramakrishna is replying to him that how you are supposed to control it. That he is saying that it is not vanishing, that it will not vanish anywhere. Sri Ramakrishna again puts it that Are, you are born out of it. He said then that turn its momentum to the right objective, or mode फिरे दाओ. Now, to tell you or to describe is in a way I would like to put it. What kama is, that we have seen that experiment in means earliest of our school life, maybe in the 5th standard. To prove the point, a pendulum is there which is otherwise standing still, perpendicular, exactly perpendicular. And now the teacher is showing that when it is disturbed from its place, this is probably Newton's second law of motion. So it is not moving, and when it is disturbed from its place and out of its mass and gravitational force which is acting upon it, it will go on oscillating. And when that force which we had put to drag that pendulum ball from its state of equilibrium and left it from there, a motion is created, that when that force is spent, whole force is spent, it will come to its natural equilibrium position. Alright, this is the simple experiment. That pendulum is disturbed from its state of equilibrium, and pendulum now is trying to reach its natural state of equilibrium. So this much the fact. Now what I cited this example to explain what kama is. In any connotation, in its most fundamental principal form, what kama is. Now, the kama is that force which is that when disturbed from the equilibrium, that force which is trying to find its equilibrium, trying to reach its state of perfection, natural state of perfection, swabhavatah purnatvam. You are pure, absolutely perfect in nature, and through some this streak of magician, through some illusion, you have come to think yourself as imperfect. You are trying to find that perfection again. That force which is seeking that perfection, that state of absolute freedom, the state of infinity, free from all these bondages, that is this force, what we call as kama, when it is expressed in the sense of, because this world is known to us, the world, Indriya Manasa Gochara world. And that's why it is trying to find its way to its perfection through this, because it only knows this. Everybody's desires are of the nature of what they know. What they do not know, they do not desire that. Isn't it? Which is not known to me, how can I desire that? I desire something which I know, with which my mind, my indriyas have encountered earlier, and with which a sanskar is formed, and sanskar is repeated and repeated, association is formed, sangha is formed, affinity is developed, association is developed, and it has become agreeable and slowly pleasurable to me. I desire that. Sukha Anushayi Ragaha. That is called as Ragaha in Yoga Sutras. Sukha Anushayi. Where it finds Anushayi, where it finds pleasure. Sukha Anushayi Ragaha. So every desire is a statement that you are somewhere imperfect, you are somewhere bound, you lack something, you want to have something because you are already not that. You remember, so this is always the inner meaning of desire. When you desire something, it is always on the corollary. What it is not saying that I am not perfect, I want this because I do not have this, etc., etc. Every desire is a statement of when you are saying that I am imperfect, I lack something. So your kama, your desire, is that force which is seeking out that by some means, by being something or having something, that perfection might be achieved. It is a small attempt in that direction. After analyzing, after hearing from the words of the Shastras, of the Gurus, of the Devas, we understand, and when we can analyze it, we understand how this notion is wrong, erroneous. However, that is the state of the mind, because it is accustomed to it. It thinks desire is the way to freedom, desire is the way to perfection, desire is the way to infinity, desire is the way to immortality. And how confounded it is. But this is what Maya is. So that's why Bhagwan in the 22nd verse of this 3rd chapter, he says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana, and the next he says, Na anavaptam avaptavyam. That it is not that I do not miss, I lack something, or I have not attained something. That in this three world, that I have not gained, or nothing that I have to gain. There is nothing like that. He is the perfected person. He is free of this delusion. That's why he does not have this erroneous notion that he is imperfect. World itself is imperfect. The world, this body is a part of this imperfection. This mind is a part of imperfection. It's going to be imperfect. The idea of moksha, the idea of perfection is not making this perfect. Because by nature this is imperfect. The idea of perfection is dissociation from this imperfection. Attaining your true, innate Swarupa nature, which is perfect in itself. This is the apparent nature. The body and mind and the complex created by it has to be imperfect. It is imperfection by definition. because this is imperfection is which is created is imperfect, which is uncreated ajapi. That is perfect. Perfection lies therein. We do not have to make something perfect. You are already perfect. You have to know that. So, this is the idea of this fourth verse, Yoga Rudha, and the idea of Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasa. So, with this, the idea of Sankalpa, actually, I had thought that I will share with you some verses which I accidentally came across. Not that I am a very great scholar and very erudite and read many books that as soon as I see something, I can recall references from everywhere across scriptures or anything. But as happened to be the wish of God, I came across it. I had bought that book and I was reading it, and I found it very apt. So I will share those ideas, and they are we can very nicely relate that what subject matter, what is going on here in this sixth chapter. So I will share those verses with you in the next class. So till then, we will take a break and meet in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.